the top of the world. My space is just covered in like a layer of sand. Like I'm just watching this show. Like they end up sending this mechanic. We're in New Mexico. Vanlife has really kicked my butt. We're currently in the middle of a dust storm. I was like really freaking out yesterday and I like needed, and it turns out that I was in Roswell, New Mexico. This group of people who like actually got stuck in a tornado, which have a pretty interesting formation story. These birds are literally playing around on the bus. That's crazy. It just has not been like that. I figure I've tried to start this video like 4 different times for the past couple of days. But hello, welcome back. We're in New Mexico and we're in the bus. I've officially quit my full-time job. I donated all of my hair, and welcome back to van life for real. Spring 2025 is full-time bus life. I have a new contract position for this summer back up in Canada, and I'll be working in Banff National Park for this summer. But for now, we've got 2 months living in the bus full-time. Welcome to New Mexico. This is the current campsite situation that we have here. It's been an interesting couple days. Yesterday we had a really insane dust storm, which was the worst day. It was terrifying. I'll insert some clips of me trying to start this video back then. This is quite a way to start a video. Hello! You may think it's, you know, sunset right now, which is why I look so, well, I look red, but like orange. Incorrect. It is, boy, it's been a day. It is 5:45, finally, but we're currently in the middle of a dust storm. So, yeah, literally cannot see anything. It's been a heck of a day. Oh, I cut my hair. I mean, I didn't. I got my hair cut and I donated the rest of it. So we have the short hair now, which is fun, and these bangs, which sometimes cooperate and sometimes don't, but it's been fun. It's been a terrible day, however, because we're currently in New Mexico. I drove down. I have now officially left my full-time job, which is very exciting, and I start a contract position of something completely different in May. It is currently March, so I have officially quit my job and I have 2 months off to basically do like a full-time van life type experience, which is awesome. I just drove down to, I'm currently in New Mexico, like I said. Spent the last week in Texas visiting Big Bend National Park, which was incredible. I will insert some clips here because I had no idea what was going on. I don't know what happened on that hike, but I just had an incredible time there, truly. Guys, this place is insane. What is even happening right now? It's dead quiet. Apparently this is the busiest month for them in the whole year. Also, how am I in Texas? What is going on? I've just been hanging out on the top of the world all alone. Which, like, what even is this place? It's been so fun. I've just been walking around looking at all the different cactuses, cacti, listening to the bees. This place is crazy. I think this is what the days were made for. What is happening? And I'm now in New Mexico and in the middle of this terribly windy dust storm of a day. It's honestly been a horrible day because it's so stressful being in here when it's windy, and we have extremely high wind warnings and obviously high dust, which means I cannot drive anywhere. It's just been getting progressively worse and worse all day. This is the worst that it's been. It's getting a little bit hard to breathe, but you know, we gotta wait it out. I think like 3 a.m. should be when the wind warnings and the dust warnings should both be gone. So hopefully by tomorrow morning I'll be able to leave this spot, go into town and do my errands, which I was planning on doing today, but obviously, alas, I am not. I am beside 2 national parks right now, and yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that probably later in the week, one of which is Carlsbad Caverns. So on Friday I will be going to visit the caverns. I'll probably take you guys along with me then. But yeah, I'm starting this vlog because hello and what a welcome back into van life. Never ceases to amaze, does it? I think we'll be safe for the next little bit though, but it's been a heck of a day. I've literally just been completely hunkered down in bed trying to watch Netflix all day and like distract myself from this insaneness. I'm gonna stop talking about it because, you know, now I'm getting more nervous as I'm talking. So hello, welcome to the vlog. If this is the first one you're joining me for, good on you. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. As you can quite clearly tell, I just came back from doing a little chores, errands, morning type thing. So I'm in the middle of putting away some laundry and groceries and went to a dump station, like all that good stuff, got gas, everything like that. And yeah, there's a couple of things that I just kind of wanted to say and talk about. So, well, one of the insights that I had, which is not a very clever one, is that the desert is so dusty. Like I showed you yesterday, we had a dust storm and there's still some kind of lingering and still blowing around from that today. And I just didn't realize how impactful that would be. I think there's so many different areas that I wanted to like visit and travel to while I live on the road. And I don't know why I just like, I guess it just didn't occur to me like what it would mean to live in a desert. Like it's obvious when I think about it, like water is hard to come by and like it's so dry and dusty that like it impacts obviously like how you're breathing and all that kind of stuff. And just the stuff around you, like my space is just covered in like a layer of sand. Like it feels like I'm like living at the beach or something, but sadly I'm not. My camera's gonna die. But yeah, anyways, I'm just putting everything away and everything is just really, really dusty. It's like a little bit crazy. But I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. So, like I said, an interesting couple days, but we did some errands this morning and I think we're about to cook some dinner in the next little while, so I'll take you along with me for that. And we're gonna hit some national parks tomorrow and for the rest of this week, so.
Lovingly close your eyes whenever you feeling a sense of emptying as you breathe out. Notice how rich and rewarding the breath feels. And at the bottom of your third deep.
Current state of the bus, as you can obviously tell, is a disaster. I just finished my Pilates workout and I came inside to do some stretching because, as you can probably tell, it's still pretty windy out. So I'm just gonna continue stretching for a little bit and probably watch a show. And then we have this to deal with and clean up, you know, whenever we get to it. There is so much dust in here. It's like a little bit crazy. Like, there's a layer of dust coating absolutely everything, no matter how many times I try and like sweep or dust or clean it. My asthma's not loving this, but you know, I said I wanted to spend this kind of spring in the desert because I wanted the warmth, and I guess this is what that is. So, you know, van life never ceases to amaze me.
They say that the agave. I built this. Oh, they are a bit busy.
Living the simple life for a brand new start. Yeah, we've been moving far from the city cats that we were. Oh baby, what have we done? Can we still keep our secrets? Put on a smile, close the door, let's go upstairs. You'll never know what we done show.
Well, it's getting to be about that time to start making dinner. I had a snack before Pilates, so I don't feel as hungry as I did then. I was pretty looking forward to making dinner at that point in time, and obviously now, maybe not as much, but we did go to the grocery store today, and I've got this salmon recipe that I'm gonna try and make tonight, this like hot honey salmon. So that is gonna be the goal. We just fed the girlios. And yeah, I'm actually gonna get changed because it's supposed to be really cold tonight. Like, I think like -1, which is crazy because I've been in like warm weather now for a little while. So I'm obviously not looking forward to that, but it's gonna be fine. That's not that cold, and it shouldn't really stay that way for a long period of time, so it should be completely fine. Feeling like a weird bit of like homesickness recently. I think leaving like home in my parents' house was hard this time. I don't really know. It's been a weird 2 weeks, honestly. What is this? What is happening here? Okay, I'm getting changed and then we're gonna make dinner.
Missing child photos out to the public and to law enforcement almost instantly. What we've seen in the United States and elsewhere. It was clear that we were at arm's length from official.
Okay, this is basically our final product. I added some feta cheese on top, but we've got the hot honey salmon, we've got some quinoa at the bottom there, some spring mix, and then this is like a little salsa with cucumbers, tomatoes, dill, cilantro, lemon, olive oil, salt, pepper, all that good stuff. Feta's on top, and then this is a little like ranch kind of dip. So buttermilk, mayo, cilantro's in there too. What else is in there? Oh, garlic powder, onion powder. Oh my gosh, a bird just flew into my window. That scared me so much. I don't know if I caught that on camera. Sometimes birds like to climb on the roof of the bus and sit on the little like rain catching, like I have these kind of like rain catching troughs a little bit like on the edges, and birds like to do that, and I kind of forgot because they'll climb on the ceiling and it's so loud, like even hiking or anything. I find that birds are the loudest. Like, they give me the most jump scares because in a completely quiet environment, for some reason, the bird like flying or like rustling around in the bushes is the loudest thing. It actually makes me jump every time, like when I'm hiking, and it's always just a bird. But I don't know why they sound so loud when everything else is quiet. But yeah, sun is setting slowly kind of out here. I'm just going to sit here and eat my food and finish my documentary. Well, probably not finish, but watch as much as I can. I'm still on my parents' Netflix account, and last time this happened, because of like Netflix's new restrictions and whatever, it just kind of kicked me off one day, so this bird is still flying around here. Hi. Oh, are you knocking at my door? I saw you on my mirror. What is happening? Anyway, so I'm fully taking advantage of that yesterday. Genuinely, I did not move from this bed. I was laying on this bed rewatching one of the old seasons of Formula One because these birds are literally playing around on the bus. That's crazy. I can see them like jumping on the hood and flying by like all of the windows while it's happening. Anyway, the new season, like season 7's out, so me and my parents are watching that on FaceTime together. Just a couple episodes, like for a few nights, so we'd eat dinner and watch the show together. And yeah, yesterday was the most terrifying day. Told you a little bit about it during the dust storm. I did not leave this bed. I laid in bed and like binged an entire season of Formula One just because it's loud and actiony and like kind of like it gets your blood pumping a little bit when you're watching. So I had my headphones in, cranked so loud to drown out the noise of like the wind and the dust, and it was crazy. I think there's been a couple experiences that have just made me feel super off starting on the road this time. I don't know what it is, but hopefully, you know, it'll kind of settle and get back to normal. The thing is, there's so much going on. Like, this is the first time that I've not worked since I was like, I don't know, 16 or whatever when I got my first job. So obviously that's happening. I haven't really let that sink in at all or like really digested it in any way. And also I'm on the road, and also I'm like so far south, so like that culture shock kind of still comes in for me. I'm obviously in a new country, which I always forget about sometimes, until, yeah, again, that culture shock kind of like comes in, even though I do love seeing the white hats from all the cowboys on the dashes of the cars, because I think that that's kind of funny. But yeah, otherwise I guess I'll be here with these birds and I'm gonna eat this dinner like I said, and continue my show. I don't know if I'm feeling a little bit homesick by watching Netflix, because I think I was feeling fine the days before, and then I logged into Netflix and like, I don't know, it reminds me of my family, and I'm watching all these old shows and like, I don't know what's going on, honestly. I'm sorry if this hair is really distracting. I don't know what's happening. I'm really not sure why this like start to bus life has been so rocky, to be honest. I've had a couple really great days and really good like hikes and stuff like that too, but I'm just reminding myself like it's one day at a time. It is only one day, and you know, everything's gonna sort itself out. It's gonna be okay. And this is just life. You wanted to do this to see the very ups and downs of what you were capable of doing, and yeah, it's all kind of part of the journey for me. So that's what's been going on. That's a little bit of what I've been journaling about recently. Maybe I'll talk about some more later, but I feel so dirty. I don't feel dirty in the like I haven't had a shower in a while like way, but just the way that like there is so much dust everywhere, like I keep saying, that everything just feels like coated in a layer of dust. But yeah, hopefully I'll just like wash my face and do some skincare tonight. I'll get everything cleaned up and that will help me, because cooking, absolute chaos in here. But yeah, and then tomorrow morning, hopefully I'll have a normal. The thing is, I'm going on a whole rant now apparently, so get cozy. The thing is, like, my morning routines are like really important to me when I wake up, and I typically spend like a good hour journaling, doing my quiet time, reading my Bible, and reading like whatever book I'm reading at the time, or multiple to be honest. And yeah, I have literally done that two times since I've been back out on the road. It's been, I think, over 2 weeks at this point. And yeah, I think it's really throwing me off because obviously, like, in this lifestyle, yeah, I don't have routines, and that's what makes it so, like, spontaneous and interesting and, like, all that kind of stuff too. But at the same point, there comes that, like, tipping point where I'm also extremely type A, and I really like my routines and my, like, planner and my to-do list and all of that stuff. Like, I really enjoy, and not doing it, I think, is kind of getting to me. So yeah, hopefully in the next week, or even just the next couple days, to be honest, like, even if I'm moving around a lot, hopefully I can just, like, take that time for myself and do that morning routine. It's also because I've obviously been changing time zones, and then we also had, like, the daylight savings time hit as well. So, and I'm not working. Like, I pretty much have no idea what time it is every day, which sounds great. Like, it sounds like that's cool, like, when you're on vacation, and it has felt like that for a few days, but most days it hasn't felt like that exactly. I haven't been feeling bored, but I've just been kind of, like, aimlessly wandering between activities unless I had, like, a specific thing to do that day. And yeah, it doesn't feel great. So my headspace is a little bit all over the place right now, and my face is covered in dust. Ah. Although I did pass a sign on the highway today that just, like, a billboard that said, "Wait until the dust settles." And for the first time, I really understood that that saying comes from something and means something, because truly, like, sometimes you just have to wait until the dust settles. And that's what I had to do all day yesterday, just getting through 1 hour, one half an hour, one 15-minute block at a time for, I don't even know how long. Like, I remember, like, I was literally counting down the hours for over 24 hours. Would it have been? Probably, yeah, just about. Not quite 24 hours. Probably 18 hours though. Yesterday, counting down every single hour. I obviously did not sleep well. I did not eat well today at all. Obviously was not, like, drinking enough water. Like, there's a lot of reasons. It's the desert, and there's a lot of things that could be contributing. So I'm thinking that it's not the end of the world, but it's kind of nice to be talking to you as a friend. I did reach out to a couple friends yesterday, and I called my dad because I was, like, really, I got to a point where I was, like, really freaking out. Sorry, I don't know why I'm not, like, not focusing perfectly, but there was getting to a point where I was, like, really freaking out yesterday, and I, like, needed somebody to know where I was. And I don't know, being by myself is, like, great, obviously, but there is those couple moments where I'm like, wow, it would be so nice to, like, not be alone, like, to have somebody with me to, like, make decisions and, like, just, I don't know, be with me. But for the most part, like, I'm super happy alone. I really like my own company, and I get to talk to you guys, which is fun when I feel like I need to talk to somebody. And obviously I do have my friends, so we do phone and text, like, a lot, I would say, in group chats or just one-on-one. All that to say, that's, like, a whole rant about van life, I guess, or the state of my van life right now. The sunset's looking very pretty though.
Everybody is pulling together, but we still need, the police still need, the piece of that jigsaw that could lead them to Madeline.
And in the course of all of these conversations, Robert Murat's name was mentioned. There was this chap.
Laurie Campbell, the reporter from the Sunday Mirror. I think she also found...
Those photographs. Please don't use those photographs.
I'll see you in the morning. You know, sometimes I look at my space when it's like this and I think as all normal people would, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, it's so messy. Living in a tiny space though, this is honestly not that messy compared to like in a house, but yeah, sometimes it's easy to like look at the mess and kind of like look at the negative of it. But then there's some times where I like look out to this and every single thing that I see, I just absolutely love. Like, I made the decision to buy and design and choose or literally create or build every single item that I like look around and see. And it's just so amazing to have that feeling that like it might look like a mess to you, but to me, every single item, like I remember purchasing it and buying it and like telling myself I was going to create this beautiful life for myself by like acquiring all of these things or physically building things or designing things the way that I did or making choices the way that I did to have this life be completely mine. And it just makes me so happy. Like every single thing is like perfect for me, and like looking at other people's like apartments or houses, I'm like, wow, I would never make that design choice, not in a bad way for them, but just like looking around and being like, I absolutely am in love with every single thing that is in this box right now, and everything, every little piece that's gone into this whole crazy project, including all of the stuff that's in it. Like, I know that stuff is not everything, trust me, but it is pretty incredible to just look out and see like so many of these choices that I remember purchasing every single one of them with so much intention for this space, that it just makes life beautiful. As you can tell, I'm in a much better mood today than I was yesterday. Yeah, I think sometimes it really is just about letting the dust settle, as much as that's hard to do sometimes. This too shall pass, and just revisiting that lesson with less distraction, I think, because I'm facing it so head on here on the road. But it's good. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better today, as you can quite clearly tell. I just kind of have been sitting here doing my morning routine. I'm going to continue kind of quietly here, but later today we're gonna go on a hike, so I'm just gonna slowly get ready this morning and then we'll head up and see which hike I end up doing, mostly depending on parking. When you're in a rig like this, sometimes you really learn how to be flexible. Rigid, but flexible. Anyway, I'm gonna continue with my morning routine, but I just had to say, sometimes the mess is beautiful. Alright, hello and welcome to McKendrick Canyon. It's a very nice day. It's not supposed to be too hot today. I'm here in my little vest, which is great. I'm so happy I remembered I have it. It is from my favorite store, Piper's Closet. For those of you who don't know, Piper is my sister. And me and my mom's favorite store is her closet and all her old clothes. Actually, so are these leggings. Now that I think about it. Quite beautiful. These are the Guadalupe Mountains beside me here, which have a pretty interesting formation story as well. All in this canyon does. It's quite similar to the Grand Canyon's formation story, obviously, because we're pretty much in the same geographical location. but it is pretty unique. Just the way that the kind of prehistoric ocean drained from here, and then obviously forced, like a tectonic event forced this range up, meaning we can now see what used to be on the seafloor. So this entire area is covered in fossils, which is very cool. And down here in the canyon, there is obviously a ton of really cool greenery and plants, which makes this hike really interesting. And I've got my little pigtails in. So yeah, feeling good. So that river crossing was exactly where I made it about 4 days ago, I think, when I was first in this area and found out about this national park and came to go hiking. Because about 5 minutes into this hike, I don't know why I had this feeling like, oh my god, I didn't lock the bus, which never happens. But you know, sometimes you just get those feelings and they don't go away. So that river crossing is like 30 minutes from the trailhead, and that was where I said, I'm not forgetting about this. So I basically just like ran back the whole way and then ended up doing the 2 like shorter trails after I got back to the trailhead. And now I'm back many days later to continue on this canyon hike. There's also a group behind me that I just passed who is singing Ants Go Marching. And he's so committed to this song. I heard them sing from 42 all the way through 48, 49 before they're too far behind me now. But I love it. Look at this. Crazy that it's not the right season and there's still so many interesting plants to look at and learn about here, even when they look like that. But it is still like a good amount of life around, which definitely makes me feel very happy to be here and not in the winter. I'm sure this is just me, but for some reason, yuccas, like when they look like this, like when they're not sprouted, remind me so much of truffula trees. I think it's because they're like thin, like the blades, is that the right word? I don't know, are thin. So they just look like this perfect circle, like pom-pom. And I don't know why they remind me so much of truffula trees. They are not soft, obviously. They have spines. But I don't know, they just give me that vibe. Also, what the heck? My life is crazy. Friends, welcome to New Mexico. This is insane. This is my hike today through a canyon. And yeah, I guess, I don't know, this view is beautiful, so I thought I would film my little update video. So hi! I'm sorry if I'm out of breath. Well, I'm back in the spot that I've been staying in for the past couple days. There was no one here when I got here, but there's been campers in and out of like kind of some other spaces in this BLM land. But literally, like, I parked, turned off the bus, got out to open my side doors, and as I was stepping back in the bus, I saw a van come down this road, and as he passed me, like, looking at his phone, which I know so well. I literally got here like a minute maybe before him. So I'm feeling very grateful for that because, I mean, I feel bad for him. It could have been a girl, but I think it was a guy. I do feel bad for them because I know that feeling of like looking and somebody being there and you being like, is this the spot? Like, oh, maybe the spot's slightly further down, but you know that like the person is in the spot that you wanted. So I just saw him turn around, so hopefully he finds an okay spot. But yeah, I was really surprised that this was still empty, to be honest, and clearly it wouldn't have been literally a minute later, so I am glad that I got here. I'm going to just set up my Starlink and do a little bit of yoga because I need to stretch after that hike today, and then send some pictures and just text to my parents and to my friends group chat. We started sending like update videos, and so I took one on the hike for my friends, so I'm going to send that to them and then respond to all of their videos. Yeah, currently all 4 of us are in 4 different countries, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, that's kind of my update for right now. But that hike was honestly so nice, and the lady there let me fill up 2 of my water tanks, which is also great because I was running out of water. So yeah, it's been a crazy kind of introduction back into van life, honestly, but that's okay. That is a-okay. I'm gonna do some yoga, like I said, and then hopefully read because I haven't read my actual book today. So yeah, I would like to do that. Just kind of chill and hang out for a little bit, and then we're back to time for dinner. Yeah, that's kind of my night, and tomorrow is Carlsbad Caverns. My ticket time is at 11:30 in the morning, so I'm pretty excited for that. I'll have kind of a nice morning and then drive down to see the caverns, and yeah, we'll see how those are. I'm kind of excited. But first things first, I got my spot, thank goodness, and I'm also excited to leave this spot though, not gonna lie, because this is the spot where I rode out that dust storm. It doesn't have the best of memories for me, but it's like safe and quiet and nice, so yeah, it's all good, and I am definitely glad that it was available. Sorry, Van. Hopefully he finds another spot and can come over here tomorrow when I leave, maybe, if he's staying, but such is BLM life, I suppose, as I am learning. Yeah, okay, see you guys in a minute. Ignore my hilarious state of my hair right now, but I just finished dinner and I'm currently watching The Twister Caught in the Storm on Netflix. Sorry, these are my pajamas. It's all my clean laundry. See, my laundry rack is folded up now, but it's so, I'm like, I can't move from this spot. Like, I'm just watching this show. Like, it's basically about this group of people who like actually got stuck in a tornado. I can't even understand. When I was little, I used to want to be a storm chaser, which sounds really funny since I was like absolutely pooping myself yesterday in the middle of a dust storm. But yeah, I just loved weather and the storms so much when I was younger, and I feel like I haven't really like done much with that kind of interest in recent years since I got older. I mean, obviously that definitely like impacted my environmental studies and stuff like that too, but this show is actually insane. Like, I don't even know what to say. It's starting to get cold out and I want to put my pajamas on and like I have to do the dishes and everything, but like I literally can't move from this spot, like mouth open, watching this show because this is insane. Like, actually hearing and like seeing video footage of people that got caught in this like absolutely insane tornado, like it's just so, like, Mother Nature is just so crazy, which Like, I know we all know that, but yeah, I don't have words. Just please go watch it. Especially if you like storm stuff, please go watch it. It's incredible. Welcome to Carlsbad Caverns. This is essentially just a compilation of a bunch of different videos that I took in the caverns. It was a bit of a weird experience. As you can see, there's so many people, and like these caves were massive. I was really not expecting it to actually be this big, but I ended up just like chatting and talking with one of the other people that was kind of in that same entry group as me, and we just kind of like slowly meandered around and just like chatted here and there and took some photos and videos, and honestly it was a nice day. But yeah, I cannot get over like how big these caverns actually was. It was really, really crazy. I would highly recommend if you are in the area, because it was actually just really cool.
Captain Amber from Jurassic Park, kind of like that, except that they're stuck to the top of this shelf.
So have people pulled those out and studied the agents inside them?
I would assume cave scientists have done something like that.
Yeah, I sure have. That's pretty cool.
A freedom for us, a way to claim something. I'd shown up out of habit, but immediately regretted it. Everyone was celebrating graduation, a new
Hi vlog. It's been a couple days. Yeah. Vanlife has really kicked my butt this time around. It's been honestly so crazy the past couple weeks. I don't even know when I left, honestly, to come down here, but to give you a recap on kind of what happened this week, it's really just been actually crazy. I think that's kind of all I need to say. Yeah, Vanlife really, like, it really just said, hold my beer. That's what's been happening the last couple weeks, because to give you, again, just a little summary. So I ended up quitting my full-time job and signing a contract for a summer position, which starts in May. And so I quit my job early so that I would have 2 months before I needed to go back to Canada and like pack and get ready and like do, you know, move in for my new full-time job. Not full-time, sorry, my new like contract position. And I was really excited because the whole time that I've been doing this like van life thing, I've been working full-time. I've never done van life without that like component of work before. So I was really excited to have this period of time to like, I felt like really actually be like in the lifestyle, because I was always kind of combining these two, like traditional lifestyle versus with this like really like free roaming lifestyle, and I always thought that they kind of like collided sometimes, or I'd find that they collided sometimes, except that when I was actually in that period of time, like everything was just the best. Like I mean, I didn't like my job, but everything else like honestly was just so great. My mental space was just really great every other time that I've been living in the bus, and yeah, I was just really excited for this period of time to like fully focus my energy on whatever I wanted to do, actually take some time off. Like, you know, I've never actually had any time off, which like I know is a very like lucky thing to be able to like take advantage of or say or have or do, like since I started working obviously when I was a teenager. So yeah, that was all like really exciting, and van life really just it kicked my booty. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple weeks. So we kind of last left off, I basically had that dust storm, which is crazy. Didn't really like get over it, but like had a really good day like hiking in the canyons the next day, and that was great. And then right after that, like the next day, I started getting some like weird feelings that morning. Like I had this ticket to go explore the caverns. It was a timed entry thing, so you had to like get a ticket in advance, so I knew that I had to like stay in that area until Friday, which was the day that I had my ticket to the caverns. But then Friday morning I had like this weird feeling. I had two weird feelings. One, I felt like off and I was like ready to leave the physical location that I was in, which sometimes I get, and it's kind of just like a gut instinct feeling like I should not be here, like I'm gonna leave. And that was correct, because like I don't know, a local guy kind of came around. Actually, he was perfectly friendly and like everything was totally fine, but he just kind of came around and was like asking questions and stuff, which was fine because I knew I was leaving in like literally 30 minutes anyway, so that was kind of fine. It just happened and then I left anyway and it didn't really matter. But I had this other really weird feeling because after my like kind of adventure in the caverns, I had planned out where I was going to sleep for the next like couple days, and it was like a 2.5-hour drive, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna try like this other BLM spot. It seems like it's a bit more remote, like I'm kind of excited for it. And that morning, I don't know why, I woke up and I was like, what if an engine light, like what if a light on my dash turns on when I go on this dirt road? And then I was like, why would I ever like I've never had that thought before, and also that's never happened. Why would I possibly like, why would I even think that? I'm not thinking negative things for no reason. That's so silly. As you can see where this story is going, I went to the caverns, I had a great time. I actually met this like nice guy who was there, and we kind of like chatted in and out of like the hike, because we were both there like alone, in like the group that like entered at the same time. And he was super friendly and nice. We like talked about his kids who are like probably around my age, and yeah, that was like we had like a nice couple hours there, and that was all good and fine. And obviously I left after that. He was actually there because his wife had passed away the year before, and this was like always a place that they wanted to come and travel to together. So he decided this year that like he was going to do that trip that they had always like planned and wanted to do. And so that was really special and really neat. This was like the first time that he's ever traveled alone, and yeah, we kind of just got to talking about that. So that was really lovely. Did my drive, got onto the dirt road, lights came on. Somehow my engine overheated, and this is crazy because I obviously am like a very cautious person, and especially when it comes to the bus, like I'm always constantly looking at lights, looking at like sounds, listening to things, like always checking fluids, doing everything that I think I possibly can to get on top of stuff. And it must have like, the temperature must have overheated within 30 seconds or something that I didn't look down. So I was just immediately freaking out. I quickly pulled over. Nothing was smoking. The engine didn't shut off, like nothing like that, because I literally noticed it, like it must have been right away, like within a few seconds, and then found somewhere to pull off, literally 1 kilometer away from the BLM spot that I was trying to get to. So there's a couple obviously very good things about this. One, obviously I was able to pull over like basically right away, so that's great. I was in a spot that was like remote and quiet, and I think on BLM land. There's only a chance that it was like slightly private land, and like the only person that would like come get me is like a rancher or something. And this road was absolutely dead quiet. So I was like, hey, you know, I can probably sleep here, but it's a Friday night. Nothing is open. I dumped in the rest of my coolant, but it was very obvious I had like a big coolant leak because it wasn't even making a dent. So then I started pouring water in because I started calling my dad, and I was freaking out, like what am I going to do? I was trying to go over like all of the different scenarios of what I could do. Like, I'm gonna have to get towed into town, which is half an hour away, or could I like get somebody to like DoorDash me coolant, like so that I could like make it into town, right? Or something like that. Started calling tow truck companies, and of course like 2 of them were closed because they operate for like, obviously I'm like a heavy duty vehicle, so I need to get tow trucks for like similar companies that like do like semi truck repairs and stuff, which is just a whole other like uncomfortable situation, but whatever. So some of them are closed because they're normal business hours. They don't open until Monday. One of them no longer do towing. And then the last one gave me this super rough quote of like $1,300 US just to do the tow into town, not to service it, not to find a shop, nothing. Needless to say, I was not very happy. So that was kind of, that was Friday night, and then it got to the point where I was like, well, I can't do anything else. I'm sitting here, it's Friday night, and I literally cannot do anything. So I had a super like broken sleep, just like all these terrible dreams, like everything that was happening then. I ended up calling somebody who like has a shop and could tow me in, and I said like I need this for tomorrow morning. And they were like, hey, we're going to, they were open 24 hours. They're like, our mechanic is just like working on a semi right now. I'll keep you updated about like what's happening. I was like, okay, thank you. It gets to Saturday morning. I haven't heard from these people yet. So I ended up texting them. I think it was like 6 a.m. or something, because obviously I couldn't sleep. So I texted them super early, nothing. I waited until 8 a.m. and then at 8 a.m. I called them. Didn't get an answer, but she did text me right away with some updates. And at this point in time, I had no idea what the plan was. I didn't know if they were hoping to tow me into town. I didn't know if they were hoping to send somebody out because they do mobile service, like work on the bus where it was. I had no idea what their plan was going to be, and I don't think they had one either. So I ended up like cleaning up the whole bus, getting it ready to like drive / like be towed, plus packing overnight bags in case like I had to spend like the night or two at like a hotel in town or something, because I had no idea what the plan was going to be. Needless to say, I spent the entire day so stressed out, literally sitting here, staring out the window, waiting for a car to come down that road, because I'm telling you, nobody came down this road. 3 RVs who were evidently staying at the BLM spot that I was trying to get to because they came from that side, and 1 other person with a horse trailer. Not a single other car ever drove down this street, which again, good and bad things. Like, it's good because it's remote and I can sleep there and no one's gonna bother me and I'm not like on the side of the road or something, but it was so eerie being out there completely by myself, waiting literally the entire day. We went the entire day. I'm talking, it's now 6 p.m. at night and this person still isn't here. I'm texting them the whole day, the lady. They end up sending this mechanic who obviously doesn't have enough parts and then has to drive back into town, buy the parts, and like come back out. They wanted me to like go with them into town, and obviously that was not happening. I ended up like calling in my credit card so they could like pay for the stuff, whatever. It was such an overwhelming experience because of a few different things. One, I did not sleep, so I wasn't at my full like, you know, emotional capacity. 2, there was now this man who I didn't know, who obviously like was a mechanic, but just like I was just out in the middle of nowhere by myself with this guy who had my coordinates, and like was obviously coming to fix the engine, but like it was just a very vulnerable position, because the thing about like being on the road, the reason why I've always felt so safe is because I can just leave and I just like have the control to do that, and that's why I've always felt so safe, and I've never like really felt very like vulnerable on the road. And this was a moment where I did, because I literally couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. So that was terrifying. 3, I got a little bit of like culture shock, which sometimes comes randomly being in the States. It doesn't really happen super often at all, because you know the two countries are very similar, but sometimes it will just like come in a rush all at once. And yeah, that was kind of happening, because again, I'm like in the South, he's like from Texas, and he's like dressed like, I don't know why, but that happened. I was on the phone with my parents the entire time, like sending them like updates. I was talking to them the entire time, so they like knew what was going on and stuff. But and then of course I feel all weird because I had to drag my parents into this, which is so embarrassing, because I'm supposed to be doing this on my own and blah blah blah. But yeah, needless to say, that repair took until 10:30 I think, or 11 p.m. that night. So I was literally sitting in here watching him parked up against me with his headlights on, like fixing the bus. I took some photos, so I'll insert them here. The second time he came, he brought like a girl, I'm gonna assume it's like a girlfriend, which like kind of was good, so she was just like hanging out in the truck, I guess. Anyways, the whole situation was just like, it was so overwhelming and stressful. That happened. I ended up sleeping there. The next day I left. It ended up, actually, the funny part of this story is that I didn't like pay attention to where I was, and it turns out that I was in Roswell, New Mexico, which, if you know, which apparently the whole world knows, but I just didn't know, that's like the site of where like the UFO crashed and like aliens were recovered in 1947. So yeah, the next day I went to the Roswell International UFO Museum, which was like a whole experience in and of itself, because you know I was there, so I'm gonna blame that whole experience on the aliens. And then I ended up driving like all the way through the Lincoln Forest over to Alamogordo, which then I went to the Space Museum right after that too, because I saw that it was here. Alamogordo also is right outside of White Sands National Park, but also White Sands Missile Range, which I didn't realize is like the same place. Obviously, like the national park is inside the boundary of the missile range, which is also super crazy. So I'm here now. Yesterday I went to White Sands and just kind of had a day there. trying to calm down, except that in the morning I also like needed to fill my tires, and that was a whole experience because I like couldn't fill them by myself and I had to like ask somebody from the gas station to come out, and then I couldn't get the machine to work, so I ended up spending like $20 on this and still didn't get any of my tires filled properly. So that was like a whole experience. I was FaceTiming my dad, like just obviously, like I don't know what has been kicking my absolute butt with van life recently, but like I feel like I cannot get a single break. I was just having trouble filling my rear tires. I was wondering if there was someone that could maybe just help fill those up.
Yeah, there's.
Thank you.
On which vehicle is it?
Oh, it's sorry, it's a bit around the corner here. It's this green bus that's sitting. It's just filling the dualies was a bit challenging.
Yeah, no, it's difficult.
Yeah.
So if you just want to pull right here in between these cones, pull right, check
Okay,
it
thank
out
you
for
so much. Yeah, no worries, thank you. I literally the last couple weeks have had, I remember, 2 days. 2 days where I have not moved and I've stayed still, where I woke up, was able to do a morning routine, didn't move, and didn't have something go wrong in 3 weeks. So I'm exhausted. I am so exhausted. Even during the times where like things have been relatively like good, my moods have just been awful. Like van life has always been something that was like, I just genuinely always felt great. Like even during times that were stressful or challenging, my mood in general was just so high, and it just has not been like that. It just has not been like that. Like my mood has been so low. Even in the moments where it kind of looks like I'm like doing something nice or fun, like there's been a couple like good times, don't get me wrong, but in general, like my overall mood has just... We're back. Sorry, my camera died. Actually in that time while my battery was charging, my dad texted me to check in on how I'm doing because like I was just saying, it's been a really hard couple days and I've been like on the phone with my parents basically every day, like helping me through something. And I just texted him that like, the thing is, ever since I left their house, I've been driving at minimum 1 to like 10 hours a day. Like the drive down to Texas, you know, you were doing as many hours as possible. So those were obviously super long days, which was like the first probably 3 to 4 days it took me. As soon as we got to Texas, there was a snowstorm, which was just like a crazy introduction. Like, yeah, welcome to van life. And then every day after that has just been crazy, and I've probably been doing on average like 2 to 3 to 4 hours a day of driving. And yeah, except for those 2 days where I took a rest, I am exhausted. I am so tired. And I was like, yeah, I probably just need to slow down. And he was like, yeah, you need to relax. Actually no, he texted me, you should chillax. So he's right. And I really need to, which is why I woke up today. I even slept in today, which is crazy. And then when I got up, like I've just been taking the day so slowly. I've actually just gotten a bunch of like admin tasks done today, which actually feels really nice, and I've just been taking the day super slow. I even like wrote in my agenda like do everything slowly. So every single item or thing that I've been doing today, I told myself don't look at the time and just do everything like as slowly and intentionally as you can. And that's basically what I've been doing today, and it's been very healing, to say the least. So that is my update on van life. It's been a pretty rocky start, truly, and it's been pretty weird, but as always, like I am genuinely grateful for living this life for so many reasons, and obviously for the love of my boss I will do just about anything. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with life and things and what's going on recently. So hopefully the next time you see me, I will be enjoying vacation a little bit more. Yeah, which is really all that I can ask for, honestly. I've got a little bit of time left. In a couple weeks I need to fly back home, actually. I booked a flight home because I have a medical appointment that got booked, and I definitely do not want to go through the hassle of rebooking it because it's kind of important. And so I'm gonna fly home for that, literally for the one day, and then turn around and come back here and spend the next couple weeks in the States, and then I will drive back up to Canada. And at that point I feel like I will have kind of like seen a lot of the bucket list kind of items in the bus specifically that I really had to see, and the states that I really wanted to see living on the road. So yeah, that's really great. My map of it's a map of America, but it has like most of Canada in it too. So I've scratched off all of my driving routes that I've ever did since the first day living in the bus, and yeah, it's coming together quite well. It's looking pretty cool to see like all of the different routes that I've driven, especially because I've been in the States I think so many different times now and just driven through so many random places. It's given me such a good like idea of different like states and areas and places and cultures and stuff that like, and again, small cultural differences, but it's still like really interesting actually. And just yeah, learning and seeing so many random things that like people live with in different areas. I mean, cue dust storm, that being a normal thing for people is insane. Oh my god. But yeah, otherwise that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning along as always. I will speak to you in the next one, but I hope you are all well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Just remember, every adventure is worthwhile, and keep sharing those stories. Love you guys. Bye.